soon as I started seeing how to operate properly, game over. Like, well, new game down around.
Meet Nick Hogan, face-to-face and online PT, a former gym owner, and someone who white-knuckled 38 to 42 sessions a week while running his own gym at the side. A gym that was barely breaking even, drawing him around $300 a week. And even though he poured everything into it, he had to step back and finally realized he'd hit a ceiling that he didn't know how to break through.
Because you grounded everything that I do based on who I am. It's not just a generic blueprint. That's what I meant by confidence.
When Nick and I initially began working together, he was doing around 6K a month, and 6 months later, and he's more than doubled his recurring base, sitting around anywhere from 12 to 13K a month, and is on track to hit his first $20,000 a month. In this conversation, Nick breaks down exactly what's changed over the 3 quarters that we've worked together so far, how his business went from messy and founder dependent to structured and scalable, how he went about hiring his first few employees, and what it finally feels like to have clarity, direction, and leverage in your own business.
How do you say that you've doubled your revenue, more than doubled your revenue in 6 months? Like that. And your workload isn't even...
It's less.
That's right.
Really. Alrighty, Mr. Nick. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and I guess like what you do.
Okay. It's been a while since I've done that. Okay, so I am Nick, personal trainer. I've been in personal training since I graduated uni in 2020. So 6 years. I only recently launched online with your health about 6 months ago. And it's been incredible. It's been incredible. So I started off with 38 to 42 face-to-face sessions a week, with not a lot of time for myself. And in conjunction with that, actually, I was running a gym. That was from 2021, because I just turned 21 at the time. And that led me to 2024 March. And then I kind of did my own thing, was enjoying the extra time when I took a step back from business ownership from the gym itself. And honestly tried just white knuckling, just as much personal training as I possibly could, realize there's a cap and I didn't quite know how to break that ceiling. And I don't know, fate just led me your way, and I just reached out, and I could feel the genuinity like immediately. Like, I think I just reached out just saying hello. I heard about you from my mate, and your first response back, I'd actually be curious to go through our DM. Is it all run through it? It was just so genuine. Like I just thought, damn, like let's just conversate,
I'm actually curious though, because I think Aiden mentioned it.
Prior,
but like I don't remember if I initiated or you initiated.
It was definitely me. I was doing my steps at the time. I remember I was walking around my backyard.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey mate, Aiden has mentioned he was working with you last week when we caught up, and thought I may as well reach out. I'm just launching online as a service, operated as a face-to-face coach for years, pretty much exactly what you just said. And I've got a lot of moving pieces coming to the back end of this year, and just thought I'd ask you straight out if it's worth establishing systems first or just having a chat to build from scratch.
There you go. Okay, so there was a bit more direction in that. Okay.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
And I said this.
Yes. Oh, it's trippy looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I just said Nick Hogan. That's like,
yeah.
Appreciate you, man. And appreciate you and Ada speaking. Sounds like you've got a lot of moving all at once. Stepping into the online side definitely can be a headache. Tether you online to get that back end sorted. Yeah, that was it. What makes you feel like you need everything established before potentially having a chat? No pressure either way. You just want to get a feel of where your hesitation is and what you're trying to avoid by waiting. I remember reading that while like doing my steps, because I think this was like extremely concurrent. So like, does it have times yet?
Yeah.
So 1:03 and like 10 minutes later, and I was out my steps and went, oh wow. I was like, okay. And then I started voice memo because it struck me. I was like, okay, genuine dude here. Let's go. Okay. And then it was kicked off from there. And I'm not sure what the turnaround was, but we met up, and from that first discovery of everything, I was like, okay, this is different. Because I'd heard about other business coaches before. I was very skeptical, mainly from like the boomers that were helping me with my previous business, and like they're just very ego driven. Like, how can they help you? They're not in that business, blah blah blah. Like you've probably heard that type of mindset before, and it does. I suppose it did infect the mindset that I had on asking for help in business. But But yeah, just like I said, that first discovery when we first met and started chatting, I was like, okay, totally different to what I even had expectations of, if I did at the time. And I mean, since then, like, I can't believe it's only been 6 months. And like, if we get straight into the numbers straight away,
I mean, if you
like,
want,
it's been ridiculous. But you know what, numbers aside, like,
Yeah.
the amount of people that I've been able to help now, and the confidence I have in a product that I truly do believe helps more people than I could have ever initially thought in a matter of half a year, is just astronomical, you know? So it's like, that's the biggest win for me. And a clear identity of who I am now, what I do, and how I can help people, you know, aside from the numbers and how much that's exploded in the last 6 months, but that confidence. And that brings a whole different aura in the way I carry myself, my business.
What do you mean by that?
I suppose it's just, you put it down to just confidence. Like, I know who I am and what I do, and that carries over into life, the way you uphold yourself and conversations. And yeah, you know, even being here now and having this, like, just this kind of conversation with someone that, you know, helps people like me. It just, to me, it feels like those little landmarks of like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? It's, yeah, little moments like these. I think it's important to appreciate and almost zoom out and see how far you've come. You know, time irrelevant. You know, it doesn't matter how quick it's happened, because like, realistically, you look at my journey from high school through to uni, you know, through starting my own gig into the gym ownership young. It's like, all that's part of the story, you know. But yeah, just I look back to 6 months ago in those DMs, and I think if I had a conversation with that Nick now, it'd be so different,
Bro, 100%.
you know. And it's like, it's only 6 months.
Genuinely, like, it's insane to see what you genuinely are, a whole different person.
It's
Like, in these few months that we work together.
insane. It's insane, you know. And truly, it's a testament to who you are and your beliefs and your values and what you instill with the people you work with. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that aura, lack of a better word, that's what it means. And I suppose that's what it feels like. It's like, it's developing that clear identity of who you are and how you help people. And that just gets carried through life, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense. I guess if we think about it though, just to make it, I think, easier for people to comprehend, because I know exactly what you're saying. Before, where you were, like, that six months ago or so, and like up until now, I guess from an individual standpoint, but also I guess this like aura and everything that you're explaining, like, what characteristics or things have actually changed from then until now, if you could define those.
Characteristics. Look, it's definitely confidence. That's the biggest thing. Being able to be more confident with how I want to spend my time and the direction I want to take my life for my family and myself is huge. So I would say that's purely the biggest characteristic difference within that time. And it's the way I lead my small family. Granted, it's just Carly and I and my little, like, you know, siblings and people around and whatnot, but it's like that, it's that direction, that clarity, and knowing I am on the right track, and I'm trying my hardest to do that, you know, with confidence. I keep grounding it towards that, but that's the best way I could probably describe that.
It means a lot, bro. And I'm so happy that I've been able to like genuinely make this impact on you.
Absolutely facilitated that growth.
I guess I'm curious. So beforehand, you wouldn't say you had like confidence in this direction?
Great question. Perhaps I did, but it was either not instilled deeply enough or it was falsified to a certain degree. No. Maybe I was just doing the wrong things. You know, you got to get things wrong to learn. That's just how it works in life. You know, you don't always just stumble upon the right answer straight away or the right way to do things. And I think it's always important to even question if it is the right way to do things, even now, which we do. We always ask ourselves, and you always challenge the way I think about things, which I'm sure we'll get into, it's good. You need someone like that in your corner. But I would say, no, I went off topic there. What was the original question?
You wouldn't say that you had the confidence. Obviously, clearly you said you like now have a lot more confidence than you did when you had coming in, but you didn't feel like you had that direction or like that confidence in
That's right.
that, I guess, path that you were going on and how you impacted people.
I'd say just doing the wrong things. Like I said, I think I got lost. Opening the gym at 21, it was eye-opening, just diving in the deep end with no help and doing things the wrong way. Because again, I had a lot of older people in my corner that were trying to facilitate growth, which is not their fault. There were ways to grow a business back in that day, and that can still work now. But I think with a gym in such a saturated industry, whether it's fitness or just brick and mortar in and of itself, I just knew it was not the right way to do things. And I was still, like I said, I was confident. No, I was led by a passion. That's the best way to do it. I was just white knuckling it because I loved the industry. I loved helping people. I loved the idea of being my own boss as well. And that's what allowed me to just put my head down and struggle for 4 years trying to get things launched and working. But again, unfortunately, it does come down to financial return. And for 4 years, man, I reckon I was drawing an average weekly wage. If you were to take it from like the very start, in which I was very much in the red every week, to towards the end, I'd say I was getting a weekly return of like $300 in my pocket, like at max. Most weeks would be paying for it, like obviously just the cost of running a business.
Cool.
But like that's just insanity. You know, I could do it as 21 because I didn't have all these responsibilities, but as I got older, and that's when I took a step back at 24, step going to 25 year end of the financial year. And then naturally, that's where the full circle comes around. So yeah, when we connected and there was that just immediate return and you cleaned things up and gave me clear direction and just clarity on how we do things and how I can help people based on who I am, that's what I meant by confidence, because you grounded everything that I do based on who I am. It's not just a generic blueprint. This is how fitness coaches should make money. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know, it was grounded on who I am and how I can help people based off the experiences that I've led.
That was an amazing answer, bro. Wow.
Sweet. I was roundabout and I was like,
No.
I wanted to encapsulate that whole story because I think it's true. Like, I think it's too easy to dismiss things as like, it ain't that deep, but like it can be. And it absolutely is, you know, it's grounded in a lot of experience and that life in and of itself.
Bro, without a doubt, like, even I feel like it's unfortunate, but like, not even just in business, but like in general, like most men or most people may not ever find that like purpose, direction, or just like clarity on the vision that they actually have.
Mate, that would have been me. I tell you now, that was me for 4 years. You know, young business owner, bashing his head against a wall, trying to get things to work for years, you know. And if our paths didn't cross, where would I be? I don't think I'd be living a bad life. Truly, I do. Not to gas myself up, but I work too hard to not
100%.
receive some return. But it's, once you get that clarity, it's a total different trajectory, you know. And that's what happened there. As soon as I started seeing how to operate properly, game over. Like, well, new game begun. That's a better way to put it.
What a go. That's amazing, bro. And honestly, just hearing, I didn't realize how much more I've actually done for you.
You probably don't.
Yeah.
You know, I think there would be all the guys you'd work with would have left with some degree of that thought, whether they know it or not. You've shaped their identity and their direction perhaps a lot more than what they would ever let on. And that's mainly because I do so much work in my self-discovery. Like, I meditate, I really practice about zoning out and, you know, thinking consciously about what happened in the day, what's happened in the last couple months, you know, because that is an important skill in just being happy, you know, appreciating the beauty of all things. So it's like, yes, I do think about how much, what would happen if I hadn't met JP? What happened if I dropped off on the end of Q1? You know, just like, oh, it's too expensive, but whatever it is, like, you know, not understanding these values can really set you back, you know? So yeah, I guarantee you, bro, have some extra level of confidence because you're already a very confident man. But like that you have sincerely helped a lot of people.
But genuinely more than you, man. Wholeheartedly, beautiful Lord. So talk to us, like, obviously when we started together, you know, it seemed things clicked pretty quickly. But how long, like, we've actually worked together for a good amount of time now, to be honest, which I was actually just reflecting with the boys just before. It's like, we've worked together for like a good 7 or 8 months.
Which
almost.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly, it is crazy to think about. I completely agree because, sorry, I honestly just left her on red, but like some other business coach reached out to me the other day and like, you know, just doing
your normal hours.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Like, but yeah, she asked, she goes like, you know, how long have you been working with, and if you don't mind me asking who you're working with, how long you're working with them. And I did, that was the moment I was like, oh my God, like I actually have been with JP for so long. Like, and it goes to show what happens when you get a team, you stick with them and you build something out together. It's like, what can happen? But yeah, it's been, I think 7 months. Because we've done 2 extremely successful quarters and we're 3 weeks into our Q3. It feels further into Q3 because we've smashed it. Yeah, but like,
he's literally like so ahead of all the actions.
And it feels good because I know I'm going to fall behind
Yeah.
during the late stages of prep.
So rather back.
Well, that's what I'm thinking because I was it's always in the shower, right? I was having a shower thought and I thought, yeah, okay, I'm getting pretty sleepy and tired towards like the back end of the day now. And that's when I do a lot of like the back end work. So I'm like, that's going to kind of roll over and it's going to really start affecting these weeks. But I'm just telling myself, I just want to launch the app, get these things done.
100%.
And then I can kind of like, we'll talk, I know exactly what you're like. We'll talk about it and be like, okay, what do we want to do for the next however many weeks, you know? So, but yeah, back to the original point. Yeah, like 7 months.
Crazy.
7 months.
Talk us through, I guess, Q1, Q2, and then now, I guess, what we're doing now. We can just start with Q1 first.
Okay.
And then we can go into Q2, but yeah.
Q1 was identity-based, foundation laying, groundwork, however you want to word it. It was just who I am, what is my business, who am I selling to? This is what you're getting wrong. You said it way nicer than that. But like, you know, it was very much like all these are your beliefs and you were so good at it. Like you made me come to the answer and the conclusion. And I still got these things wrong in Q2 and I've only just managed to squash them. And again, that's another beautiful thing. You knew that it's when to push the pedal down and when to kind of let me figure these things out. But back to the topic, Q1 was just very much groundwork. It's who am I and what is my business and who am I trying to help? Let's just build these things up. Because I already had a successful personal training brand. Like it'd be very, I don't have the word. It'd just be silly of me to say that it wasn't a successful business. Like I was running like 40 clients. It was just a time management, even the cost per hour perspective. There was things that needed refining. And that's what
it was pretty crazy as well. Like Nick was bro, you were only charging like what, 50 or 60 a session or something.
As an average, yeah. I was running, so a new client will come on board. It was $60 an hour. And some of the guys I've been training for, because my retention was it still is extremely high.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that have been with me since like I came fresh out of uni were on like 45 an hour, which like back when you first start, you know, your career in business, like that's awesome. You know, I started working at Plus Fitness for like $27 an hour. So 45 an hour, I'm cheering, you know? So I kept them on the same rate and, you know, and this is nothing. You've managed to uphold those beliefs that I want to treat my long-term members with that kind of care, but offer more or increase that perceived value and still raise that ticket. So it's like they're happy and I'm getting a return that's up to 2026 standards. So it's like that blew my mind. And that was in Q2. So I'm jumping ahead again.
That's okay.
But yeah, so Q1 was just truly foundational work. This is your business. This is where I think you should lead your business. And let's just try things. We just tried things. It's like, I think you should start posting a bit more. I still didn't get around to that until later, but now we're smashing it. DMs, you told me the importance of DMs. Didn't get around that until like Q3. And what else was there? Refining my timetable, scheduling tasks. I was very, very old school. I used to always use my pen and paper, if you remember that journal. And you just encouraged using the calendar. So I think it was it Christine or Bernice at the time? Who was the like original?
Bernice.
Bernice, that's right. Because Bernice would come onto my calendar and clean things up, which was always helpful. So you just kind of helped consolidate things. That was Q1, consolidation, right? Messy business, not intentionally, but just a messy business, clean things up. And it helped build the systems out for online. That was another thing.
Yeah.
Like they were bare bones systems, but that's all you need really. So that was helpful. And then Q2 was huge. Q2 was huge. I feel like that was like a big financial boom because we started making boot camps, like a passion of mine, conditioning. You were like, why don't we start doing that? Again, what an obvious
Can you explain what a boot camp is, just for people who don't understand?
So I was running close to about 40 sessions a week, and they would be personal training downstairs in my gym. We have upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs is just where the weight room is. Upstairs is the boot camp room, which is cardio, strength and conditioning, almost a high rock style of training. And I'd have individual people that were doing that when it's such a group orientated, community driven sport, or can be. And yeah, JP helped me figure out the simple solution would be, why don't you just combine those and have multiple people in those, and that's what we did. And we just consolidated. I think we went from 39 average a week down to like 32 in Q2. So it saved me, 7 to 8 hours every week. Mind blown. And that was when I first got my first work from home day, which blew my socks off. Like I can't imagine not having that day now. It's today, Tuesday.
100%.
Right? So Tuesday I go to the gym, train a couple of clients, and then head home and do a lot of background work or, have the opportunity to do stuff like this. So it made time for that. And so that's boot camp. That's boot camp. But that was huge in Q2.
For sure.
And then we also employed my first employee, so Joey, and he started taking afternoon sessions as well.
So who's Joey?
Joey is my brother-in-law.
Yes.
He started his Cert 3 years ago, tried doing personal training by himself, but he didn't quite have the business acumen to launch. And that happens. How many people get their qualifications and get lost? Right at the beginning of our conversation today, like people just not sure on those little things, those low-hanging fruit that can really build themselves up into a business. Joey didn't have that. Has all the passion in the world, but just lacked that. And I've always wanted to quietly bring him on my team, and because I couldn't find a more loyal and happy human being, right? And brother-in-law. Like, come on, I know there's keep your business life and family separate, but like in something like this, in which someone like you is able to help build these things out because you did some SOPs and
100%.
all these things that were just so helpful. That helped bring so much of my time back
100%.
and an opportunity to Joey. He loves it and he's killing it. My clients love it. And I remember, again, another limiting belief. I was so scared to separate myself from my business or something that I had built up for years already. And people were so used to me training them. I get it. It's an ego thing. If I take myself away, are these people going to stick around? And absolutely they love it. And they still feel attached to the brand and me, and Joey's an extension of that.
100%.
Which still speaks volume of Joey is, and I'm very blessed to have him in my life and my business. But it's like, you can find those people and you can train them up. Because I know there's a lot of limiting beliefs around, I can't replace me. A lot of men really, truly, or women in business will think that, and they're scared to take a step back. Or in reality, it's just stepping sideways and allowing someone else to step up. That's a better way to think about it. And that's exactly what happened.
You can't really grow otherwise, right?
Correct.
You're going to be capped to doing
Well,
it yourself.
that's right. That's that ceiling I was talking about. So let's bring it back to the question. Q2 was just so huge. Like, hired my first employee, consolidated times on the timetable, really started launching online and built out solid systems. I think we hit our first, I think it was over 12K month in Q2. And then I think we're cruising close to 20.
That's pretty.
Yeah, now, yeah,
Consistently.
100%
Yeah.
now. But like, yeah, I think we're this. I don't want to jinx it. Actually, touch wood.
Wait, you hit 20.
No, but I think if we, so I re-signed Kian for another 12 at PIF.
Yeah.
On the weekend, and I've got 3 discoveries. And not to again be too confident, but
Yeah.
my discovery close is pretty damn good right now. So if I can land, I think we'll be cruising for a 20, which I've not had.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm.
That's like, what did I tell you?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Again, squashing these limiting beliefs, and it's like those are the small things that really they bottleneck you. They just truly do. I always think about it like I was so hesitant and almost resistant every time you would say like, do DMs, do outreach, try it, and I felt so sleazy doing it because I thought I was just trying to sell people, and you were like, dude, you're so genuine. Just reach out, say hello. I'm just connecting to you as a follower. What do you like about my content? What made you follow to begin with? I noticed in your profile picture X, Y, Z. Just that's me. I've operated a gym. I've always been social. Like I want to know things. So it's like that's how it started. And the result of that, 3 discovery calls this week. That never would have happened if you didn't squash that limiting belief of like it's okay to just talk to people online. So and that took me 3 quarters. So if there's a message in there somewhere about people that want to work with you or even are currently working with you and are questioning those things, just have a crack. Like that's exactly what I did. I made the time, and like I was only doing like 3 to 5 a day, if you remember. And this was only like 3 weeks ago, like because it was just it seemed too overwhelming, But yeah, another limiting belief. The quicker I realized that like I don't have to be so robotic in the cold message. Just reaching out. What's the worst case scenario? They don't respond, or they piss off.
Totally get it.
Yeah, like
Some piss off.
big deal.
Exactly. So just to summarize, Q1 was really like understanding your ICP, getting clear on like your identity in business, and just building those like good foundations
Absolutely.
to actually like get you to start growing online, but also alongside that, just optimize and streamline things for face to face as well.
Yep.
Q2 came and we were like, okay, the biggest issue, correct us if I'm wrong, was your time, because you were still doing like those 39 sessions, 40 sessions on top of the online. And the issue was, it's like, yes, you got all these new online clients, but it's like, do you even have the time to service? No, if you take on more. No. So we had to solve that bottleneck by like introducing Joey first and foremost. And then secondly, like introducing the boot camps. So we have essentially, it's like group sessions essentially. So there's more people in the one session. So we're increasing our revenue per hour, but also reducing like our total time throughout the week, which brought Nick's time back. But then on top of that, which I think we didn't actually discuss, was we actually went back to all your old clients to get them online.
That was Q2, wasn't it?
That was Q2. And then we also went back to your current clientele, which is probably the biggest thing you were scared of, which I remember you mentioning, to actually like raise their prices and deliver more value.
True. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah. You see, that's what I'm saying. Q2 was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. There was so much refining, and new additions that it was quite. I remember being a bit hesitant and frightened to do everything you just mentioned. And again, lo and behold, like what came out of that, it was just everyone's happy. Like, I was so worried because I felt guilty to charge more, yet there was no negative consequence. Everybody understood. I work even harder at what I do because I know that I'm getting a return for it. And it just, again, I'm able to offer more. I'm able to offer more and help those same people better. I can give them a better service, not just from a monetary point of view, but it's the things that we've built up. And again, the identity of who I am and how I can help people. It's just like packaging that. That's true. It's very hard to explain that. And I think it's very easy to gloss over. So you said that perfectly. And that was Q2.
amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was so important. I remember reaching out to all the old Amber knew that was amazing.
I remember how nervous and scared you were like to do that. But obviously look at us now and like on the other side.
That's right.
Now we're in Q3 and you're literally on track to potentially hitting a 20K month, which,
And-
like I told you at the beginning of the quarter,
Yep.
we're going to go and hit,
Yep.
given everything that we've done now.
That's right. And then launching a branded app,
Yeah.
like that's insanity. Like again, 6 months ago, I never would have thought I was going to be launching a branded app. That is insane. And like the ceiling of how many people I can help by having my own ecosystem is just astronomical. So it's like, not to get ahead of myself, what's Q4 going to look like? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's insane to think about, because Q3, it's building this and getting it right. And, you know, if it follows the trend of Q1, if you look at it this way, Q1 was that consolidation and refinement period. Q2 was actioning everything that we did from Q1. This Q3 is similar to the Q1, but just at a different level. So it's like Q4, well,
Sky's the limit.
that's right. So it's yeah, exciting is just a nice bubble word to just put it under. Yeah, truly, you've nailed that.
100%. And I guess just to give everyone clarity too, like when you first came in, like how much revenue were you doing given the clients that you had? And then if we look fast forward to now after like 6 or 7 months of us working together.
So I'd say a normal, if no one cancelled, which if as personal trainers, odds of that happening very low, but let's just say no one cancelled, it was about 1.8 a week. And that was a good week, you know? Now it's like, 3.5 to 3.6 is that's the week. And that's not including any new sales. That's just recurring revenue, and predicted revenue. So it's
Bro, you get like legit
that's double.
with it, like double
It
at a reoccurring base.
Yeah.
That's not including PIFs as well.
That's right.
That we've got.
Exactly right. You know, and that's not including the income from Fit Focus too.
Exactly.
So it's like that talking a bit out of shot, but that bumps it up to about 4 a week. So it's like it's how do you even say that you've doubled your revenue, more than doubled your revenue in 6 months? Like that, and your workload isn't even.
Is less.
That's right.
Really.
That just feels insane to say. So, yeah, from a numbers point of view, I mean, say no more.
My go. And bro, like, I didn't even realize you were on track for 20.
This month.
Potentially.
This month.
Yeah.
Yeah, this month it's pretty awesome. We've had a lot of new signups, and the way Stripe kind of rolled over those payments, I just kind of realized I looked into my Zero and I was like, whoa, like we're kind of cruising. So I think we're at like 11 and no, not 11. I think
You'd probably be
14.
more.
I think it's 14.9.
So
So
you're only 5K away.
yeah. So it's if this week I get that 1.5 rollover on the Saturday, and if I land 2, we're in. We're 100% hitting that 20. But I want a 2-stage discovery. I want to call them. But one of them is extremely warm, so I'd like to move that on.
We'll talk about it more now. Our meeting afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like
Right. So it's insane to think about. Again, that was the end of Q3 goal, and I think
it's like not even. It would be week 4,
Yeah.
like the first month into
So it's like
Q3. Yeah, smashing it, bro. Genuinely, and I guess if I know you mentioned like how much of an impact. I guess like which bro, like I didn't even realize it went more than just that. I mean, if you could describe, I guess like how you've obviously described it, I guess quite well, but it's like if you were to describe like how it's been like working with me up until this point, like what would you say?
I would say, to consolidate everything I mentioned before, how it's been working with you it's been easy. It's been easy, right? Like I feel the fact that 7 months has gone by like that, and every time, a good way to put it, every time we have our end of quarter meeting and you have to sell to me as someone that is giving me a service, dude, like I said to you, I was going to have a joke with you the last time, you know, and like a joke about I've got to consult my partner. Like it's just, mate, it's easy. You're a team player, you're a supporter, and you're not just someone that sells a blueprint. You know, it's individualized. It's me. You are on my team. And I even talk about you that way to other people that I'm mentioning who I'm investing in and talking about my business. I'll always say we, JP and I, this is our business. Like that's how it feels, because you know my clients, you help with their discovery calls, you help with content creation, the testimonials. You do more than just what I feel. I've never had a business coach before, but I've heard. So it's a little bit biased, but truly, like, you are a blessing to not just the business, but the person as well, because of everything I mentioned before about how you've helped me step into this new level of confidence within myself and how I carry that outside the business. That just speaks volumes, of who you are and your beliefs and your values. And that does get instilled onto the people you work with. So how is it working with you? It's a blessing. It's easy. It's an easy decision every time. Yeah, every time.
Bro, you're amazing to work with, and I'll tell you that for a fact.
Which I do appreciate.
It's the truth, bro. You're an absolute legend, and I hope the boys can tell how much of a nice guy this dude is. Like, honestly, one of the most genuine and positive human beings I've ever met. Like, wholeheartedly, I'm being honest.
And that means the world to me too, because that's how I would like to live my life and lead my life. Leave positive impressions on people, and know, if I could just simplify it, I can go to bed at night and my head hits the pillow knowing that I did treat everybody well. That's truly how I want to lead. And when we first connected and we had our conversations, I could tell that's where your genuinity comes from too. You just want to be a good human being. And when you do that and you practice those things, even within business, good things will be returned to you as well. And it's just as simple as that. Like, yes, external influences happen and things outside of your control will impede growth, your health, whatever it might be. But it's like you just continue to do the right things, and you have someone in your corner that's got that like-minded beliefs and values. Well, things just happen, right? Like why I'm sitting here now, so confident within myself and my business, right? That's amalgamated to that outcome,
Well, I appreciate you a lot.
Cool.
And if anyone was skeptical, right, and they were like potentially on the fence, even just having a chat, or like even,
and that's what I tell people too.
Like, what would you actually say?
That's what I always say. Just have a chat with him. I've spoken to many people about you, where they are in business, and I will just always tell them, mate, just say hello. Like, just say hello. What will result from that is what's up to them ultimately. But yeah, if you are truly on the fence about JP and you haven't reached out, just please just reach out. It'll become pretty clear whether he is someone that can help you or not extremely early, and he won't waste your time. Like, I can't express that enough, because like I said, I reached out to you extremely not warm or cold. It was just, this is who I am. And you just ask questions. Like, you just ask. Like, it didn't come from a sales approach or anything. And that's what I tell people. Like, you don't feel desperate, which sounds horrible, but like, you will help people that are like-minded and have all those values that I spoke about. They will find you. And if they're questioning whether to sign on, I honestly think they just haven't reached out yet. Because anyone that has spoken to you, I truly can't imagine a world where they'd say they won't benefit from you in some fashion, whether it's business, mindset, or their personal beliefs. They should live with something. They will leave with something, even if it's just a conversation, whether they work with you or not. Just that opening conversation, you will leave with something after speaking with JP. That's the type of impression, and seriously, that's the type of influence you can have on people.
Bro, I mean, so much more than like genuinely.
I'm honestly happy to hear that, bro, because you deserve to hear it, and I feel like you should remind yourself too, and not for an egotistical way, but just a grounded faith of understanding the impact you can have on people.
Thank you so much, bro. Is anything else you want to say?
No, I'm pretty happy with what I do.
Yeah, sick. Awesome. Well, Nick is prepping. He's how many weeks out?
I'm 12 weeks. I feel like 12 weeks is like,
12 weeks is like 3 months out.
yeah, that to me, that's the number. Like that's always been like, as a person that watches fitness content and everything, 12 weeks to me, whenever I heard a fitness influencer or a bodybuilder say that, it was like, ooh, that's like the number, 90 days out, 3 months out. Like it just feels so much more real. So I'm very excited moving into these back ends, and I can feel it too, like intensity wise, but as well as like fatigue. And that kind of like gives you that dog, you know what I mean? Like it's like, you're hungry, you're tired, but you just want to keep going.
Totally.
So that's where I'm at.
That's amazing. Well, Nick is 12 weeks out. You're competing in Classic?
Classic, we've just confirmed that. Because I didn't even know what I was doing. Because I'm just easygoing.
No, fair.
And my coach, Aiden, I think he was just easy because he's got another client of his competing as well. And he wanted to do bodybuilding. And he didn't want us competing together, which is fair enough, competing against each other. So he leapt towards Classic. But I just said, bro, I'm easy. I said, just put me anywhere. But then Josh Collegiate, my opposing coach, he said, man, like, you could do either or. And at that point, I just said, stuff that we'll just do Classic.
There you go.
So that was like, what day is it today? Tuesday? That was Friday.
Yeah.
Just gone when I met up with him. So lock me in. Classic.
Made him. Well, boys, if you want to follow along with his prep journey, it's Nick Hogan on all socials. And yeah, he's looking absolutely diced. We literally filmed how many weeks ago? And
That was
saw
2 weeks?
2 weeks ago. I think it was a bit longer.
Wouldn't be any more than 3.
You don't think?
Well,
was like 3
last
weeks
week we
ago.
definitely caught up online.
Yes. The week before that, and it was the week before.
Was the group calls? So then
And then the week before that. Oh, yeah, okay. And yeah, we saw how it was looking, but like literally within the span of like a few weeks is
melting.
so it's literally is melting. So if you want to go watch that, you can have a look at that.
I appreciate that.
Like, yeah, just follow along with your journey. He's doing awesome. And given how like fatigued and tired and hungry you may feel, he's, like I said, genuinely smashing it. And I've never seen someone so happy in prep, to be honest.
I remind myself of that every day. I just need to not be, I think it's a very easy sport to be selfish, and I don't like that trait. So I know there's going to come a time where I have to be, but again, the more I can give to people, that makes me happy and that sustains me. So it's like, I just want to continue, and it's not as always at the front or anything. Like I truly receive energy and happiness when I give that out. So I want to keep that up. So I'm happy to hear that I still have that energy. I'm worried though.
You seem exactly the same as you started to now.
Which is cool. In fact, I'd actually, not to sound, I'm not sure of the word, but I want to actually say I hope I'm even happier, because prep has allowed me to learn of those shortcomings and where I was selfish before. So I want to say that I'm even more giving during this time, because I'm so, in times of sparsity, I feel like you're able to realize how much you can actually give and where you want to give to, and for someone like me, I like to give to a lot of people. So it's been great, but I'm fearful at like because to me, my next big marker is like 8 weeks out. 10 feels still like very much 12 weeks out, but 8 weeks out, again, when I hear someone say that 8 weeks out, I'm like, wow, like they're close. So that's kind of my mental, again, it might just be a limiting belief that like I'm telling myself I might not have as much to give to people, So in that time frame, bringing it back to business, I'd like things to be comfortable. And it's not as though they're not comfortable now. Like, bro, we've built an amazing system and ecosystem, but yeah, 8 weeks is like my kind of spooky number.
We'll talk about it when it comes.
Yeah, that's right. It's a later issue.
But bro, thank you so much for coming out.
No, I appreciate you asking to the invite, because it's been a lot of fun. At first, like I was like, what does he want to talk about? Because you're like, let's just have a chat. I was like, what do you mean? But made it too. It's been a lot of fun, and actually, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about how this has been, because again, as much as I think this and I do constantly practice that, saying it out loud to you has been amazing, because it's a good feeling. Me knowing that you know how I feel, because I think there's a special thing there that resonates when you actually speak it out loud, So I appreciate this opportunity.
Bro, I appreciate you. Thanks, dude. And guys.
If you made it all the way to the end, I genuinely appreciate you. Honestly means the world. But more importantly, I just wanted to emphasize that Nick just didn't initially work for me just for more clients. He came in not knowing how to break a ceiling. He's been struggling to break through for years. And what changed wasn't just the revenue, it was who he actually became in the process. He's more confident in the direction he's taking his life now. He's clear on who he is and how he helps people. And he's leading his business, his team, and all of his loved ones differently as a result. This is what most people overlook when they get into business in the first place. They worry about the money, they worry about the status, they worry about everything else outside of the actual changes in who you need to become or who you do become as a result of going through the journey. So if you're a coach who's been putting in the hours and still feels like there's a ceiling to the business that you can't break through, go ahead and send me a message on Insta. From there, we'll honestly just have a genuine chat, understand where you're actually at, and then we can figure out together whether or not I will be best to help you. And if not, and genuinely if I can't, I'll point you in the right direction.